What's up, YouTube? This is Garrett from Garrett's Tech Lab. Today, I want to talk about some pictures I took with the Nikon Z7 II. I took these pictures at a gym and at a park. So let's cue that intro and take a look at the pictures. All right, we're back. And what I wanted to do today was kind of go over a few pictures I took. I went to a park, I went to a basketball game, and I actually went to the game first and then went to the park. And why do you say that's relevant to tell you about that? That's mostly because I didn't change the color temperature when I moved from the basketball game to the park. So a lot of the park pictures came out very blue because the basketball game had fluorescent lights, and I had the color temperature set for those fluorescent lights. And noticing how that was, I continued to shoot at the park. When I got the pictures home, they were very blue, so I had to edit them. So all of the park pictures are edited, and I just want to go ahead and put that out now. All of the basketball pictures are shot. I've got doubles, I've got edited, slightly edited, and unedited photos. The unedited photos are really pretty cool because if you've ever shot in a gym, you know the lighting is really bad. I mean, it's really kind of crazy because it seems very lit. But when you're shooting photos there, to be able to stop that action, right? So I had to crank the ISO up to like 5,000. And I was very surprised at 5,000. It was very minimal grain. And I used Lightroom. It's the only software right now that recognizes and can handle the raw files from the Nikon Z7 II. And like Jared Poland, I prefer to shoot raw. It just doesn't make sense to have these cameras today shooting JPEG. And the ability to be able to push the photos, be it removing grain, adding color, the darks and the lights, you just can't beat the raw for being able to have all of the data that's there. So I prefer shooting in raw. My favorite software to edit photos is DxO Photo Lab 4. But right now, today, they can't handle the Nikon Z2 photos. I also have the photography plan with Adobe. So to my surprise, Adobe Lightroom can edit those files with no problem. So I'm using Adobe. But let's take a look at these pictures. So the first set of pictures is from Old Fort State Park. This particular park has some very small waterfalls, and it also has a old paper mill. And this particular park also has an old paper mill foundation that was built pre-Civil War. Matter of fact, during the Civil War, they converted this paper mill into a gunpowder factory, and it serviced most of the South with gunpowder. But I got a couple of photos of the paper mill foundation. I've got a couple of photos of the waterfalls, and what I've done is I've obviously changed the color temperature, and I've also added a little bit of color to make them pop, and the photos from there turned out awesome, especially the waterfall pictures. They turned out awesome. And then we'll progress from there to the basketball game. I've got about 6-8 photos from there. And what I did was I took the unedited 5,000 ISO files and I followed them up with slightly edited files just so that you could see the dynamic range and the ability to be able to pull the grain without affecting the photos. Enjoy the photos. All right, we're gonna turn this camera off and switch over to the Nikon, get a couple photos. So the photos you just saw were me at Old Fort State Park in Tennessee. And all those photos were edited primarily because I did not change the color temperature from when I was shooting in a gym to when I started shooting there. So they were set for incandescent lights, and when I got home and actually looked at the photos, they were all very blue because of that. So instead of showing you these blue photos, I went ahead and edited them so that they would look nice. Now these next set of photos I took at a basketball game, and believe it or not, these kids are like in 8th grade and they're huge. The color temperature is set to incandescent lights, which were there, and because I don't know if you shot in a gym, but it's very strange lighting, so I've actually got the ISO up to 5,000, and there's a slight amount of grain but not very much. So what I'd like to do next is show you the picture straight out of the camera and then the picture slightly edited, removing some of the grain. Let's take a look at them now. All right, so you've seen the photos from the park. I felt like they looked really good. You've seen the photos from the basketball game. You can see how easy it is to remove the grain. So shooting at an ISO of 5,000 has no bearing on this particular camera. And I'm just gonna say I really like the camera. Now, if you watched any of my earlier videos, you know I went a month or two without a camera. So right now I can't put the camera down. It's in my hands all the time. I love the way it feels. I love how small it is. I'm gonna have a video coming out pretty shortly telling you about the things I like and the things I don't like about this particular camera. I also have a question from a user that wants to know why, if I sold all my equipment, my cameras, my lenses, I didn't change brands. And I was gonna type a response to that question, and I noticed that it was just getting way too wordy, way too long. So I think I'm gonna do a separate video on that to talk about why I did choose Nikon over a Canon. Look for that video. It should be out in a couple of days. And I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks for watching. Down here somewhere should be a subscribe button, a like button, a notification bell. So if you like this content, you want to be able to follow along, make sure you hit one of those, preferably all three. If you don't like the video, forward this video to somebody you don't like. Finally, I want to say that I'm really toying with breaking my photography videos out from just my normal gadget reviews that I love to do also. That way you guys, because I think the majority of my subscribers are here for the camera, I'm thinking about pulling those out and moving those over to a photography channel. So I'll let you guys know how that progresses and when I'll make that move. And hopefully you'll also follow me over there. So again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This is Garrett from Garrett's Tech Lab. Merry Christmas. Peace.